Everybody. We're gonna play some more of the Jeskai Murktide deck that I've been really liking lately. I kind of think this is the best deck. But maybe we can confirm or deny those suspicions a little bit today. I do want to, I see some people talk about this in the chat. I want to make sure everybody knows that there was a big Twitch leak. Passwords were not leaked or anything, but, you know, just the overall security of the site is maybe a little compromised, so I would recommend taking some time to change your password and protect yourself and enable two-factor authentication. And also, Facebook's getting hacked, Twitch is getting hacked. Just a general PSA from a former IT guy: don't use the same password for all your sites. That's just a generally good tip, and it's never too late to switch things up. I use NordPass personally to just generate a bunch of good passwords and store them all in there. I'm gonna scour that into the yard here. Yeah, very close game. GG. We're taking a look at the Storm the Festival list. I haven't, no. I didn't know that there were Storm the Festival lists, but you have my interest. Master of Q, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Looks like we're playing against Jeskai Ascendancy combo. Then they can't play an Ascendancy next turn because they have the basic forest, so we should be pretty safe to play a Murktide Regent. Is Tempo playable modern? This deck is a deck that some people describe as a Tempo deck, and it is playable in modern. But I don't think Fairy Ninjas is that good. But thanks again, Master.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Do you like this more than Blue-Red? I do like it more than Blue-Red. I think that this is a better version. Obviously, it's the same deck, splashing for ending and some other white cards, but I've been really happy with this variant. Really happy with the 75. Yeah, no Delver, no Tempo. Just like Death and Taxes is any deck that has Thalia, Guardian of Thraben in it. Tempo decks are any deck that has Delver of Secrets in it. What factors in the meta are making the white cards more in the deck? So there are a lot of decks that are main decking Chalice of the Void, which is a huge problem for the Murktide decks. I know that they play one explosives usually. What in the world? It was Bant Spirits the whole time with Sylvan Caryatid? The classic limited strategy of having walls and flyers. I can't believe it. I'm just stun locked right now. So if I Lightning Bolt and they Coco in response, I kind of lose, so let's not do that. Yeah, modern be wild, huh? I don't like this decision to do this pre-combat necessarily. An online ban proposal for WotC? I mean, I didn't see it, no. I like it new a lot. I mean, the problem with doing something like that, though, right, is that is the legacy community in some kind of consensus of what the ban is? Because I don't know. I know that they want something to be banned, but I don't think there's a consensus, right? We're probably pretty bad against Insect Tribal. Do I have any Cyber guides for this deck? No. I'm posting basically all of my Cyber guides to Channel Fireball these days. I would love to post extra content in the Discord, but it's so I just don't know how I could possibly do it. Where we're when I'm working on decks, I need to write guides for them for Channel Fireball. I'm putting out 2 a week. It's really hard for me to also write one for the Discord, but I do have a lot of cyber guides and deck techs and in-depth deck guides on CFB Pro. Okay, we're playing against Spirits. Teferi is usually pretty good against them. Counterspell's usually not that good. It was pretty good that game. I'll probably go down 1 and then 1 Bauble. Not worry too much about it. Carrington's pretty good against Ragavan. I could kind of Ragavan on the draw. Probably bring the last one back in on the play. Putting two on stream. Basically Murktide and Ragavan. I mean, I'm a little out of my element, although I did watch a lot of his stream yesterday. I like his streams a lot. He's really good. We actually gave a shout out for our boy Anu in chat. It's Anzid MTG is the username. But I don't like banning Murktide feels really weird to me in a format with Swords to Plowshares, but I'm out of my element for sure. Swords to Plowshares, Endurance, a lot of good graveyard hate, just combo decks in general. I feel like are good against Murktide too. Murktide, huh? I think banning Ragavan makes sense to me. It's just so easy to like play Ragavan days up, and you know no other, like yeah Ragavan just they took the damage. I guess that makes sense because of Thought Scour, right? Yeah, never mind. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. I think like if they're gonna ban Dreadhorde Arcanist, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to make Ragavan also legal. Where you know Arcanist is stronger when you untap with it, but it's also 2 mana. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't play a lot of Legacy these days. I'm a bit out of my element when I speak on it. I just want to make sure that that's clear. Is that I just don't play a lot these days, and when even though maybe at one point in my life I would be like pretty knowledgeable on the topic, I'm not right now. But that being said, banning Murktide seems weird to me in a format with Swords to Plowshares. Alright, let's keep that. But I don't know. They have a second Coco? Oh, I have Teferi. Yeah, I brought in Teferis. Whatever. Oh, I also have Ending that I can use with Ragavan too. Yeah, this doesn't. That's fine. Was a little scared of milling over my Teferis. That was very much a oh no. Anyways, moment. We need to find and resolve a Teferi, but it's not GG. This is cool tech, the Carried Worship. I wonder if the Worship's our main deck. What's the plan against Worship? So we have two Teferis right now to bounce it, and then we also theoretically can Prismatic Ending X = 4 if we can hit with Ragavan, which I guess we probably can't do with a Carried in play. Is the ban list discussion portion of the stream? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, although we're talking about the legacy ban list, which I actually think is a really interesting topic that I am personally interested in, but I don't really like know exactly what my opinions are. I do it does like make sense to me to want to ban days. I just don't know if that's the call. Or so not days, Ragavan. That's kind of what makes sense to me. Just ban Ragavan, see how things go. But again, a little out of my element. I think I'm supposed to graveyard that. You need Teferi Time Ravelers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I don't really see a reason to heat the Skyclave here. And keep Delirium. Delver's so busted. Well, right now, like a lot of Delver decks are just playing DRC Ragavan over it, right? Like I mean, the archetype in general. But I don't know. It's like I understand the argument to playing to banning days, but I also think that Ragavan in general seems to be much more powerful in Legacy. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. It seems to be more powerful in Legacy than in Modern, right? Where just in general, there's a lot more creature removal in Modern, and there's a lot more creatures to block, since you don't have to worry about, crazy combo decks. Okay, this was absurdly good for us because now we get to hit with Ragavan, which allows us to Prismatic Ending a worship at some point this game. Yeah, Modern's more board oriented, and it's like in Legacy, like you have to play a lot of cards. Is worship bugged? What just happened? Is worship bugged? No, they didn't concede. They're at -3. Guess let's tweet it out for a PSA. Got 3 looks at a second land. I'll keep. Yeah, they errated Ragavan to beat Worship. Oh yeah, also Ragavan just beats Worship. Judge, what does beats Worship mean? I don't understand exactly how this mechanically works. Easy clap. I guess I'm gonna just do this anyways, so I should have waited on the Bauble. No, if I saw a lightning bolt on top, I probably would have drawn that. They took 17. They should have gone to -3 instead. That's so weird, yeah. What's it done for deck tech? $10, 2 gifted subs. There's also a channel point option. Yeah, I'm actually just kind of happy they're dashing Ragavan because I've got the counter spells here. Although I do think you are probably supposed to dash Ragavan in this spot because there's just so many good cards for you to hit out of my deck. But against the one open man, I'll just hold up the counterspell this turn. If you win all the games this league, does it count as a 5-0? Yeah, it counts. Like, I was up a game. I had, like, a lot of outs to the worships. I know that we won with the bug, but I'm going to count it. Please find a land iteration. You've only ever been good to me. Thank you, Expressive Iteration. So obviously we're going to Canal this turn. Do I want to have a counterspell in my hand, or do I want a second copy of Murktide? Probably second copy of Murktide. Howdy, Michael. Bolts. Maybe dash Ragavan. Yes, dash Ragavan. They found Thought Scour, which is kind of nice, actually, because it goes to my graveyard for Murktide. It is also nice that they didn't find anything to use with their Luris. Hand's also very Inquisition-proof. Hey, Spike Lawnmower much? I know. It's Wednesday where we collab with the Lawnmower guy. I think Moonveil Regent is playable in Modern. YouTube channel Magic Aids recently made a video of 5-0. Didn't... Oh, he did 5-0, yeah. I watched it. It seemed fine in the deck. I like the deck list. I just forgot that the 5-0'd, but I did watch that video. I'm just gonna pass. I want to be able to play Counterspell, or have Counterspell up when I play with my Murktide, I think. And I'm just gonna let them hit me with Ragavan. If I counter it, then they get to go Luris, replay Ragavan, which isn't really much of an option here. Just hope that this isn't too good of a hit. They're likely an all-access player. Oh wait, the all-access is back? I didn't know that. That's a really good hit. Jeez. I guess we have to counter that one. I'll counter with Charm. Runs out in a few hours. Okay. Guess I'm not re-upping. I guess I usually only get it when new cards come out anyways. But it's really nice to have. I wish you could always get it. Could have made this Murktide a little smaller. I think it's fine to get it to 8/8. 7/7 might be the better number because it gets out of heat range, out of double bolt range, and then another card for the Murktide. Dude, Murktide is so freaking good though. Yeah, if you steal a Dash Ragavan, it gets returned to their owner's hand, so it's not very good to steal. The one thing that you should not steal is a Ragavan. So I steal this Ragavan, and they Kaya's Guile, make me sack Murktide, make a 1/1. It's pretty bad. The problem is I only have one spell in my graveyard, so I'm not presenting lethal with this Murktide Regent unless I cast this Charm. I can also draw 1 mana spell. But I think I want to play around Kaya's Guile. Drew the 1 mana spell, so we should win here. No fear in this dojo? I mean, a little fear in this dojo. A healthy amount of fear. What does the little magic icon in the life total box your opponent have? Do you are about these images here? Because you just have little avatars you can choose, if that's what you're talking about. I have the powerful Jade Avenger. My opponent has, a mirror something. Yeah, I guess no Guile. Between this and Black Red Luris, what do you think is better against elementals? Probably Black Red Luris, but both are not very good. Knighted Mirror. It's pretty. Maybe I actually just want 1 Teferi. Oh, whatever. I do like trimming Prismatic Ending though in this matchup. Just trimming. Alright, let's keep this. What is good against elementals? Mono Green Tron and Titan are like probably the best 2 decks against elementals. Grixis Dress Down Shadow has a favorable matchup to Team Wreck, the deck I was playing recently. I think that I might play some of that deck later today as well, but I think that deck also has a good elementals matchup. We played against it a couple times and seemed pretty favorable. Best sideboard options versus elementals: Torpor Orb, Dress Down, or kind of like the ones that come to mind, but they all have their own problems with them. Yeah, but like just Mono Green Tron specifically, it's a really hard matchup. Although, they should just probably play 4 Charmal on their sideboard, right? That probably would help the matchup a lot. When you bring in Calm, it's just a burn sideboard card, which I think this deck wants because its mana base is more painful than traditional blue-red. I think I'll just play my second Monkey. This way I can just use my mana to charm next turn. My Monke meta, there seems to be no hammer whatsoever. I mean, yeah, hammer is definitely a big reason to play Jeskai over blue-red, but if you think there's gonna be a lot of Chalice of the Voids, I still would recommend Jeskai. Torpor just makes you get free elementals. Well, it's not free; they have to spend a card each time they do, but yeah, like Torpor is not 2 mana to win the game, but it is a good card against them. It's not you know, like rest in peace against Dredge. They do play Kaya's Guile on the deck. And I guess we'll Teferi this turn. Seems like a good window. Not versus Thoughtseize deck? No, you don't want Blossoming Calm to counter Thoughtseize. Like, yeah, it's just like Thoughtseize is a 1-for-1. Just get hit by the Thoughtseize, man. Right. Will they kill Teferi? Will they hit me? They hit me, so they probably have an answer. What, Junsack versus elementals? I found Junsack to be slightly favored against elementals. I definitely beat it more often than I lose to it, but I'm not sure exactly how favored, I guess. 7/7 Scourge of the Skyclaves. That's pretty big. Guess I'll consider Graveyard. The rebound not worth it. It's not worth it in my opinion. Like you also have to have untapped white mana. It's like not good on the draw against Thoughtseize. Just take the, you know, it's only good against Thoughtseize too. Oh, I guess it's kind of good against Scourge though. Should I steal the Ragavan? No, then they just don't attack with Scourge. Then this goes back to their hand. I think I'm gonna bolt the Ragavan. Take a big hit. I think main deck dress down and blue white over Spreading Seas. It's an interesting question. I think I like Spreading Seas more, but it's close. Bubble. I guess I'll iteration before I bubble myself. Okay, we found an ending. Think Clothis. I'm gonna go, I guess, hand Channeler, bottom, Exile. And I don't want to just be dead to bolt, so I'm not gonna shock here. Yeah, I like Scourge a lot. I miss the old black-red Scourge deck. That deck was pretty cool. I played one league of it with like Flame Rift recently in Shadow, and I thought it was fine. I went 4-1 and just never picked it up again. I have a lot of decks like that I'll do. I'll play like 1 or 2 leagues. I'll do like pretty well with it and just never pick it up again. I feel like I just need to make like a big Twitter dump of all those decks. Like say, just kind of put them all out there. Say I've been working on these. I'm probably not going to pick them up again anytime soon. Go nuts. Yeah. I see the response of like not having an answer to Saga if you play Dress Down over Spreading Seas, but you do have it, like, Dress Down is good against Saga, so yeah, that is your answer. Alright, let's bounce the Luris, I think. Let's also draw some spells here. I guess I'm going to steal the Channeler. They don't have anything else to play off their Luris. Kind of feels bad to just draw lands, though. With Scourge, I feel like you really don't need to focus on doing damage to yourself. I mean, you need to some extent. Like, you need to be able to deal yourself damage. But the Flame Rifter also, it's also like just good in like your aggro deck with Death Shadow and Scourge. You know what I mean? Oh, they drew Bauble? Yikes. Wait, it was already in the graveyard? I totally didn't see it. It's fine. Let's just draw Lightning Bolt, huh? How free is it for the bean? Anybody know? Not free enough. Dang it. No. Not free enough for the bean. Not free enough. Alright, seeing they're playing Scourge and Shadow, I definitely would get these endings in the deck. Trim on counterspells. Keep this, I guess. Gonna play this deck at Vegas. It's way too early to decide on a deck for Vegas. There's gonna be a whole set released before Vegas comes out, or before the Vegas tournament. But if I had to pick today, I'd probably play this. If Luris is broken, why isn't there a blue-white control Luris list? Good question. Kihira's just as strong. Yeah, the other CFB Vegas is the week, is like the day that the new Innistrad set is legal. How close in power level is considered to Preordain? It's like a tier below Preordain, I think. Kind of hard to quantify like those kind of questions usually. Was hoping to see me play Phoenix in Vegas. I might. I don't know. It's it's like way too freaking early. Got deck tech? Sure. Thank you, Ghost. Teamer Delirium. So the idea is you're just splashing. Okay, I don't like these Manamorphoses, I think. I don't like these Moonveil Regents either. I know that, like, you know, they seemed okay in the green list with a lot of ramp. In a deck like this, like, you need to play like cheap threats to go with all your cheap spells and your generally low mana curve. You need to play Dragon Rage's Channeler, Ragavan, Regent being a 4-mana 4. I'm not that high on Regent. It did seem okay in that Ponza list, but I'm not expecting this card to end up being a modern staple or like really that close to it. And it's not that high a payoff in a deck like this with such a low curve. Awesome draw. Yeah, like if you're gonna play Teamer Delirium, like I would recommend your threats being like Dragon Rage's Channeler, probably Ragavan, but if you don't like Ragavan, that's fine. Murktide Regent, and maybe Tarmogoyf. I think Tarmogoyf's better than Stormwing Entity in this deck. I also, you know, like your interaction is like really weak in this deck too, where it's just burn spells, and your clock is not so fast, especially because you have no 1-mana creatures. You have a really slow clock in this deck, and so if you're playing against a deck that you need to interact with, you know, counterspells, you just have no counterspells in this list to interact with, which is a big problem for a lot of matchups. All right, so we will have an amazing turn here. We have Prismatic Ending Shadow. We graveyard that. Heat the Scourge, and then I could hold up Counterspell or play Murktide. I'll keep the Bolt on top. Wait, what? Oh no! Sorry, I thought we were missing sorcery in the yard. I thought we were missing sorcery. That's what I get for doing deck techs. The middle of matches. Alright, hope that they just don't have an answer to this. We have Bolt on top. I mean, those are my general thoughts. Like, yeah, it's just like you just like against Tron, against combo decks, you just like almost have no chance without any counter spells in the main deck in a strategy like this. Your clock is way too slow. Why not run some main deck? Well, the thing about like Lurrus main deck is like Lurrus is not strong because just its abilities. It's strong because it's a companion. You know, that's the strength of the card, is that you can just put it in your hand whenever you have 3 mana. And when you put it in your deck, you lose that ability. Your boy, 3 months. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I could have ending the Scourge and then Heated the Shadow too, which is just such a bummer. But I guess we're doing fine here. We draw Lightning Bolts. Attack them. Just let them chomp. Is Above Hearts way better than Sarah Visions? Well, I mean, green versus blue is, you know, maybe definitely a consideration needing green mana on turn 1, but yeah, I think that like just needing green mana on turn 1 makes me probably want Visions more. OMG, we're still talking about Lurrus. Yeah, we're always talking about Lurrus. You should lock your stops. Yeah, thanks. I don't know how it gets. Do I just like never have it locked? Okay, I'm just not going to counter anything that doesn't stop me from winning the game here. Usually you have them locked and you unlock them, it costs me a game. Yeah. Oh, that's true. I unlock them so I can set my upkeep stop. But I don't like always having the upkeep stop. I just like to be able to set it. So despite our misplay, we win. Opponent says GG's, floats the white mana to pretend like they have path. A very classy way to concede. There's your print. Leyline of Chalice on 1. What? Oh, so this is the name of the card. Leyline of Chalice on 1. What kind of effect would Leyline of Chalice on 1 have? What mechanically would that card do? I also think that, like, I play like a decent amount of gut shots in sideboards for decks that have bad Ragavan matchups, and I find that like those cards wildly improve your Ragavan matchups. Just like, especially whenever you get to bolt a dashed Ragavan, it's such a big deal. Okay, we finally get to bring in these Blossoming Calms. I want to find a bolt though. Okay, this is probably going to be too slow for Expressive Iteration. I guess we'll just scour the Iteration into the yard. Okay, at least I have Delirium now. Murktide's pretty good here. Yeah, and then like the Mana Denial with Wasteland Daze plays way better with Ragavan than you can in Modern. So obviously there's a lot of ins and outs to the case. Ragavan, I will also say, is a poorly designed Magic card. This is not me saying that that's not the case. Ragavan is a really poorly designed Magic card. It shouldn't have been printed as is. That does not mean that it should be banned, because to be honest, like basically every Modern deck contains some cards that are design mistakes. Do you think the Jeskai Demon Lich archetype could use Surgical main deck? Not in this current metagame, but maybe in this current metagame. I would say probably not right now, but that's something you want to think about. No Searing Blaze, please! I've told this story a couple times, but when I was like first getting into Modern, I played a lot of Elves, and I played a lot of Grixis Delver, and I thought Searing Blaze was just the most broken card ever. I don't know that I ever beat Searing Blaze. I was like, this is so stupid. They just kill my creature and deal me 3 damage every single time. How is Searing Blaze still legal? I unironically, like very, very much so, wanted a Searing Blaze ban. Is this a side story to Dalton lore? I don't think so. I think at this time Dalton wasn't living in the city I was living in. Might be misremembering. Yeah. Like I don't know if I need to say this, but I no longer advocate for a Searing Blaze ban. I think it's probably fine to leave it in the format. Oh, Spell Snare, yeah. When you got to Spell Snare the Searing Blaze, you were like, ha, I finally won. I don't have another basic island in the deck, so we'll just Murktide here. Is that 5/5 or 6/6? 6/6. Searing Blaze this. Right, they put Lurrus in their hand, which is pretty good here. I really want to find a counterspell for it. It's like I can't really attack. Okay, I found the counterspell. So do I Iteration still? Or do I try to find a burn spell so I can attack? I think I'll Iteration. It's a bit greedy. So let's go hand, bottom, exile, play this tapped, pass. Lurrus just slightly relevant. I mean, I'm going to counterspell the Lurrus. That's, I think, as relevant as it gets. The Greatest Scrub Lord, thank you for your subscription. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, classic streamer luck. Well, I guess I'll cast my cantrips. Have any cantrip casters in the chat? We could do a Boros Charm, draw off Sunbait Canyon. Yeah, if they hit Boros Charm off Canyon here, we lose. Please, no. That would have been a headache. Headache and a half. So we attacked them for 6 down to 14. We play 2 3/3 channelers. Have counterspell up. 12 next turn, plus the 6 this turn, 18. 20 with the dash Ragavan plus heat Swift Spear. It should be lethal. And then now I don't need to counter Lurrus because... No, I do need to counter Lurrus because it blocks Ragavan. It or the Goblin Guide. Act early reminder. I can you add a... You can just add a plug, right, Ghost? You'll need to type it in. But I think it's... Yeah, change your password on Twitch if you haven't. There was recently a hack. And passwords have not been leaked, but like just like, you know, there was some data mined. It's good to change it here. So no Boros Charm. Eidolon. Okay, Eidolon's pretty weird here. I just attack with everything, right? I put them to 1, and then they can't cast a spell, or they die, then I kill them next turn. I can do Ghost. Fran, 17 months, just missed it. But thank you, buddy. We finally get to bring in these Blossoming Columns, which I think is important. Just your mana base is pretty painful, so having a sideboard card for this matchup, at least to me, feels like a big deal. Ragavan's also, I felt to be pretty good this matchup. I think I want to trim Iteration, Bauble. Maybe I don't want all these endings. Ending, I guess, is worse than the red removal. Can play like 2, play 8 total removal spells. Could be kind of low. I can trim a Charm. Could trim Cantrip, play on the draw the 3rd ending. It's probably fine. Don't think I want Dovin's Veto. Maybe we should reset the Fran counter. Maybe. I kind of think it's good to keep it. It was a little bit funnier back when it was real numbers. Let's keep this. Cutting Murktide option. I don't know, Murktide's really good against them, but it can be awkward to draw 2, so something to think about for sure, Z's. See what my top card is. Counterspell. Yeah, if this feels bad not to play one of my red 1-drops, but I really need to draw a land, so let's draw a land. Firewalker. Well, I've got answers to Firewalker in the deck. But yeah, I guess I only have 3 endings, so maybe I should bring in another ending. 0, but yeah, you can't ban Wasteland and Legacy. You're just asking for a Dark Depths format, right? It was funnier when Spike and you had beef. I don't know. Maybe it was funny for a little bit, Fran, but I feel like the beef wasn't funny for that long. You gotta cycle your memes, you know what I mean? Your YouTube video description is still linked to old Twitter handle. Oh. Okay. I'll there's no way I'll remember to change this. There's like a very, very small chance. I think I'd cast the Ragavan here. Just fine if it eats a burn spell. I think Hammer Time is good in the current meta. I haven't played much of it lately. I mean, it's not that big a deal, of course. But I'll change it. I'll try to remember. Unless Gloom is in the chat. There's a guy Gloom in the chat to change it. Or maybe Gloom will, when editing this the video, somehow hear this comment and change it for me. I guess I'll get basic Island and Flusterstorm. Wasteland not being legal separates us from the animals. Yeah, I don't think Wasteland would be good for modern. If you don't like, Ragavan would definitely not be okay in a Wasteland format. and it might not be okay in any current Wasteland format. Alright, Ragavan down. So we have 2 more endings in the deck for Firewalker. We also have Murktide Regent to just be able to block it. But the card's very good. Yeah, Ragavan's really good at Vintage, right? I would assume so. Vintage is definitely the format I know the least about. Yeah, we've been top decking pretty well today. Oh yeah, Saga, like, oh yeah, also, like, how is Saga still unrestricted in Vintage? That doesn't really make any sense to me. I don't know. Maybe they just. I mean, Vintage is a format that I don't always understand or usually feel like I understand, but I really wanted to save this for Luris, but I think I have to counter that. But it just really feels like Saga's not the kind of card that should stay legal or unrestricted. Oh no, my Blossoming Calm didn't get to counter the Boros Charm. How does he do it, man? I guess I'll play the Channeler first. Die to top deck Boros Charm, but this lets me attack, which is really important here. Can keep that. Whop. I'd love for me to play the VSL. I would probably play the VSL if they asked me to. I mean, I'm, pretty unexperienced in the format. I did top 8 a... No! Dying with Blossoming Calm in the hands. Come on. Come on, dude. That's ridiculous, bruv. Come on. The top deck Boros Charm. It was double Boros Charm, too. Are they bringing back BSL? No, this is just, like, hypothetical. I doubt that they will. I mean, I would do it if they invited me. It'd be fun. Swiss Spear on top. So if they don't have Lightning Bolts, we're in pretty good shape. It's really the only way to kill this on turn 1. They do have the Lightning Bolts, so we're in worse shape now. Hopefully we can draw a land. Okay, I'll Channeler this turn. Okay, 2 more looks at the lands. They have a Channeler on top of their library. And a Swift Spirit Channeler, 2 mystery cards. Do find a land. Can I enable 2 factor authentication moderation Discord? Hold on. I guess I don't know why I have to enable it and why that's just not able to just be on your account to have 2-factor authentication. But I can I'll just save the image and make a note to do that later. I have to log into Discord though. I guess I have to graveyard that with no white mana here. Yeah, but I mean with just so many like hacks going on right now, it's just you just have to be safe. Alright, I guess let's try to find white mana for ending. I can also keep this and try to find red mana for heats. I think I'll graveyard it. Okay, well, didn't find either. Do they block? They do block. Just told you about worship, how that happened. It was bugged, right? That's how it happened. Okay. Probably gonna play Murktide here, right? Ooh, or I could Boros Charm for revenge. Seems like a wild block. Well, they're really behind with a lot of cards in hand. I don't think it's that wild. We do advance to 3-0 despite getting Boros Charmed out of game 2. Maybe we did. Alright, go to 5. 2-0 landers. Opponent last seen playing Dimir Mill. Is Void Mirror playable against Jeskai Phoenix? I feel it's pretty bad. Well, it stops the rebound on salvaging, it stops Lich from casting spells, or no, not from casting spells, for Lich from being cast for 0. It depends on the deck you're playing, I imagine, but it's not the worst option. Yeah, I don't think we did Spider. Okay, opponent, also almost a 5. Okay, cool. Reduke says go up on lands. I saw that. I think Reduke's article of go up on lands mostly is relevant for standard, especially like a lot of the points he made in that article, which were very good points. But I think this deck wants to play 18. Like in standard, it's just so much easier to flood out a little bit, you know what I mean? Because you just have so many mana sinks, you have so many big, expensive spells. Oh, they're playing Hammer Time, not Mill. I am going to go for turn 2 Murktide here, I think. Maybe capitalize on their mold to 5 a little bit. Yeah, in this deck you don't need that, that many lands, of course, either. It's probably also casting Ragavan here. Or should I bolt the Ornithopter so I can get in? I guess I'll do that. I feel like it's worth the 6 damage. It's kind of 12 damage too, because this will also get to chump block the Murktide at a later turn. One sub teeth, interesting. All right, we dash in. I'm thrilled that they trade this for a Saga token. And they also realize, I think, that trade favors me. Great hit. This hammer always play plating. It's kind of a flex spot. Like the idea behind plating is if you don't have Paladin or Sigarda's Aid, you can grab plating with Stoneforge Mystic, and then it's I don't care if they need on my turn here, by the way. It's gives you like a kind of a more fair affinity style draw. And it doesn't cost you that much to just play one copy. So if my opponent's hand is Hammer Paladin, we lose. So they can get, or Shadow Spear, because they can get Hammer or Shadow Spear off of this. Equip. Smack me. They can also, if they're afraid of my Murktide killing them, get an Ornithopter to chump. Am I converted to my Lord and Savior Muldrifter yet? I played against Muldrifter yesterday, Muldrifter Reanimator. It looked really good. I might be converted to the Muldrifter version. I would still want to play Unmarked Grave, but maybe I'm a boomer. Putting only in black, white, or mono white. I mean, it should be the same, right? Because the black cards are only sideboard cards. It's just Thoughtseize is the black and. I mean, I guess it's better in black white because of the attach, but you can play it in mono white too. But you're right, this is a little bit of an upgrade. But you can also attach in mono white too with Springleaf Drum. It's not like you could never do it. They grab Shadow Spear, so if their hand is Hammer Paladin, we're dead. But I think if their hand was Hammer Paladin, we would already be dead. They would not have taken this long. Oh, the Shadow Spear equip is pretty good. So they gain 7 up to 12. We can Murktide, and yeah, we're not gonna quite. Be able to kill them this turn, unless you draw like Thought Scour, I guess. Counterspell, not that relevant. Andrew, 16 months. Never buy those 4 in black border bolts and paper. Yeah, those are actually the first things I bought when I was rebuying my paper collection. So a hammer makes this a 1916, sorry. We have 13 points. I'm just walking here, I guess. 19 minus 10 is 9. Yeah, so I guess double block plays around hammer a little bit. If this is a bluff, then they get to kill this Murktide, but we have the outs to draw Charm or Prismatic Ending with this block if they have a hammer. Doesn't feel very good. Alright. Alright, try to find ending. 3 more looks. Yes. Do I know the reason behind DRC with no Ragavan and Blue Moon? You'd have to ask Jacob, but I mean DRC is better than Ragavan. Is the reason. Close game. I think this matchup's like decent though with all of our white cards. We played against it earlier this league. Trying to remember exactly how I sideboarded. I think this is it. -1 Murktide, -3 Ragavan, 1 Bauble, 1 Thought Scour. That combat math versus me is always a headache. I think I made the correct play though. I think I played that turn good. Oh, I forgot the moon. Okay, sorry. Yeah, how did I forget the moon? I think it's the 4th iteration is the cut. Or no, let's cut the 4th counterspell. Iteration's actually kind of good with all these cheap interactive spells. I mean, it's iteration, but like you might think it's a little slow in the matchup. Should we have left a counterspell instead of Murktide? No, we needed to cast the other Murktide in order for our first Murktide to be able to block the constructs. Otherwise, it's too small. Right? Maybe you're right. I think it was still the right play. Yeah, Ragavan I think is better than Darcy and Legacy. I agree with that. Let's keep this. I'll put back the Regent here. Must be called best burn hand. I think so. Yeah, I think it is. You could probably make a strong case for other options, but I think it's calm. I've been pretty happy with that card. If you win, cut the 4th Ragavan. Yeah, I think the 4th Ragavan can be cut on the draw. I also think it's fine to have 1. But I do think you like the first Ragavan's at least good on the play. But I think it's also like still maybe better on the draw. I'm going to use Ending here instead of Bolt, even though Ending is the better card. This lets me use my mana better if they play something I want to Bolt next turn. And I'm interested in using my mana as efficiently as possible when I have 2 iterations in my hand. It's also bad if they have Sanctifier here, but still, I think, stand behind this play. I think Teferi is an okay card for Harry. I think it's too slow. I mean, I think in this deck it's too slow. It's obviously a fine card. Like, it will be good some amount of time, but it is kind of slow, and I just don't really feel like it's what it's about. Alright, I'll keep the 3rd iteration. Kind of feels weird to see all 4, but I think it's fine to keep it. Hand, bottom, exile. I guess I'll do this now to try to get Delirium. Would have loved to keep that, but I am surveilling it into the yard. I do like drawing another Ending, though. Me playing a lot of Jeskai Lowe's Field, I legit believe that getting to main deck Blood Sun has won me more games than any other part of the deck. Yeah, main deck Blood Sun's really good now, for sure. For sure. And like that was a big part of like why I liked the deck in the past, is that main deck Blood Sun was good in the Field of the Dead metagame. Now it's good against the Saga metagame. Luris in hands, like that. Let's iteration again. Keep that. Hands, bottom, exile, shock. Still no delirium. No creature, no artifact. Yeah, Mana Traders is... I haven't had an issue with Mana Traders in a while, with Ragavans or anything, really. Okay, if they go for the Nexus kill this turn, we have heat, so we shouldn't be worried. Can Ending the aid. Maybe my opponent is chanting to themselves, cowards can't block warriors, cowards can't block warriors. And they would be right. My opponent's played their land. I'll put this in the graveyard and we get Delirium. Just gonna get a tapped Fountain here. Keep. If I buy a set of baubles, I should be good to play Blue Red X Tempo. You'd have to like price it out. I'm not sure. Probably. Depends on like which tier you get. I can get this deck with my It's not the highest tier, it's the next highest tier, but I have the full like many years of subscription value. I guess we let this resolve. Luris here. Yeah, that should probably work, but I just, don't want to guarantee something. So we don't get to cast the Scour. Should be fine. Why not draw 2? If I draw 2, then they get to take my draw 2. They get to take the iteration. Maybe drawing 2 is better there. Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, so I do think there is a good argument for cutting this Ragavan on the draw. I think it's still fine. Like, you're still pretty happy to have it in your opening hand. It's not that bad. I think I still like to have 1. But you can make an argument for the first Teferi, the 4th Scour, the 4th Bauble. Alright, good hand. But it also keeps 7. I do not go. I am only sponsored by Channel Fireball. Alright, it's gonna pass. -1 iteration +2 consider +1 fountain +2 vary. I disagree with those changes, but it's not that bad. I know you're pushing the agenda, Funder. The Teferi agenda. Yeah, a lot of Hammer's definitely a very good deck, but I think it's a decent matchup. So if them playing Hammer on turn 1, by the way, is of course a classic sign of a Paladin in hand, but our hand's pretty good against Paladin. I don't know if I like that line. I'm gonna Scour here. Because if they play Paladin next turn, I just get to bolt the Minmite, and then I get to Prismatic Ending the Paladin. Although now, I just get to Counterspell Paladin, probably. I didn't know how I'd fit it. Yeah, I mean, I don't like those changes, Funder, though. Like, I think that I would rather play the... I want the 4th iteration before the first Teferi for sure. And I do think you need to add a land if you add 2 Teferis, and I think the Considers are important too, so... Like, I guess that's just, like, what you would have to do, but, again, there's just not really changes I think are good. I think we can iteration here. Let's go hand, Consider, bottom, Exile... We're insulated from another Paladin because of the bolt. We bolt this, of course. I'll draw the Delta. Seems like every time I've tuned in, it's been against Hammer. I think this is only the second time we played against Hammer. Maybe someone in chat remembers. It's our second league. I think it's only the second time. I could be misremembering. Been playing 3rd Consider over 4th Counterspell and liking it. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like the 4th Counterspell. I'm kind of partial to it. There's definitely like a lot of bias though with me and Counterspell that I freely recognize. The bias is that I like to Counterspells. Yeah, I do think this deck's better than straight blue-red. Obviously, it's like very similar. You're just splashing for yeah, you're just splashing for the white cards. But the white cards, they're pretty easy to splash, and they add a lot to the deck. So I'm a big believer. Big believer. Whenever we visit Saga Blade, at some point, I like that deck too. We'll play it again. I think I'm going to play more Teamer Rec today, but I'm having a lot of fun with this deck. I want to give this deck a lot of attention, because I think it's... I think this is the best evolution for... Maybe I should have got a red source here, actually. I think this is a really good evolution for the archetype. I just want people to know that I think that, I guess. Oops, all Minmites. Okay, so I need to ending at least 1 hammer to play around Paladin. Yeah, 1 should be enough. Do you see they brought back Showdown Skulls deck? Yeah, so I've seen a couple different versions, like Trophy recently. I love that deck. I've played some in the past, and I'm into it for sure. Good luck, Kaiga. Is the white mainly for sideboard help? It's also for main deck Prismatic Endings, which help you answer Chalice of the Void, which is a big problem for the deck. Alright, so we got Trophy 7 yesterday. Gonna get Trophy 8. Kind of climbing up the leaderboard a little bit. Had a slow start to the season. But I'm not 100% sure how I'd build it. That's just probably where I'd start. Good hand, good hand. Are boil-proof mana base still a thing? I mean, there aren't a lot of boils at the moment, so there's not a lot of reason to be playing that mana base. Get the upkeep stop. I'm gonna build Blue Moon on stream. I don't do a lot of deck building on stream. I tend to prefer to like have decks ready to go for the stream, and I find that tends to lead to a better tempo, a better place to play, a more engaging. Probably playing against Naya Sagavan. I tend to find that to be just better for the stream as a whole. But sometimes we'll like have a conversation about a deck list, right? And I'll end up being into it, and we will do some deck building on stream. Just doesn't happen that often. Just has to happen organically. But building Blue Moon on stream would be kind of boring, since I feel like I would be taking like Jacob's lists and like kind of looking at all the different versions, and trying to figure out how I would build the deck, and it would just be a lot of like little nitpicking, and everybody would tell me to add Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I would say no thanks. I would play Snapcaster in that deck though. Would I play Cryptics in the Blue Moon list? I'm not sure. It's a good question. I think I'm gonna counterspell this. I know that I can bolt too, but bolt's like the cheaper answer, and is if they have another one. If they have another 1-mana creature here, it's so bad if I don't counter, and they do have another 1-mana creature. So here, I think I'd like to go Scour myself. I'll probably cast Murktide if I draw it. I didn't draw it, so I'm gonna Ending so I can leave Bolt up, which is bad if they draw Goyf, but way better if they play Channeler or Ragavan. T Madu, thank you for 2 months. They did have the Tarmogoyf, feels bad. Not a very good iteration either. This is still heatable at the moment though, so we have both heat and Ending to answer this, and Murktide. Just none of those in the hand. They do have Lurrus, yeah. Again, Maga Odo. Thank you for your 2 months. Yeah, if they Lurrus in hand, things are a problem here. I want to like counterspell a Goyf or something. I'll count that as or something. I think if I dash Ragavan, this Ragavan is super dead, but I don't have another line, I think. No Lurrus to put in my hand. Soul, thank you for the 9 months. Now this is a 6-7, so now he doesn't hit the Goyf, by the way, because of the Ren. My opponent definitely can kill this Ragavan, right? There's no way this Ragavan survives with this pause. So I'm going to play this Canal tapped and probably lose the game. We can draw Murktide or we can draw Ending. They get Soul, thank you for 9 months. Oh, at least I didn't have to spend my next draw step drawing Spirebluff Canal, huh? Bring in these Wear Tears. Bring in Ending number 4. I probably want to play. I might just play 0 counterspells. 1 Teferi. I don't think I want Path. Got endings for Goyfs. I guess I'll play the first Alpine Moon over the third Wear Tear. Yeah, Goyf is really good right now. Goyf is like all-time high, maybe. Why Wear Tear? They're playing Saga in their deck, I think. Why is Naya so unpopular? The problem with Naya is that it's not very good against combo or big mana when compared to other of these variants, but it is a fine deck. I feel like Teferi is really good against Goyf. It's somewhat like it's good against Goyf, but it's not that good against the 1-mana creatures, right? It's not that good against Ren and 6, Heat. And we have 4 Prismatic Endings that are good against Goyfs. Oh, don't Sentinel. Dude, Sentinel is so freaking good. Okay, that's a good draw. I guess drawing that, I'll just get a basic island here. I feel like my opponent's probably favored in this matchup, if I had to guess. We were 4-0 opponent 0-0. I'd never seen that before, I think. I've never seen that. I don't think that should happen, but I guess it's happening. It's fine. How do you get it? The bet is ended. You have to be... I'll do the predictions when I'm 4-0, and then I guess occasionally other times. But you have to get in the window, because it's hard. You can't bet, you know, after the bet's already started. Otherwise, you just choose right before the end, you know. I'm going to Murktide here and hope. I'm going to get a Steam Vents too. Any hopers in the chat? Good to hear Arthur or Bartholomew. I like the deck a lot, of course. Just doubters in the chat. Oh no. Well, this is why I left that island in the deck, but I was not hoping for this outcome. I forgot to sing to the Murktide, yeah. The one time you bet on me? Well, don't count me out yet. Don't count me out yet. Yeah, I'm going to steal the Sentinel. Why not wait to attack? Because they could attack with the Sentinel, and then the Sentinel is tapped and can't block the Ragavan. I know they didn't attack with the Sentinel last turn, but if they attack with the Sentinel, it's just a disaster. It's just a huge disaster. 4-5 Goyf, back to hand. Are actually kind of ahead, I think. It's close at least. Now I'm feeling ahead. Hand, bottom, exile. I could have maybe handed another ending. It's kind of close, I guess. Try to draw a DRC. Did not. Failed. Should have handed ending. I mean, I think that I want to push my advantage when I'm ahead on mana here. You know what I mean? They did have a second Goyf. I think it was totally fine to not hand the ending though. Especially when, like, that means I guess I would have Thought Scoured over the 2 lands. It's kind of funny. Get to draw a card off Sentinel though. Thank you. So am I still gonna scour myself? I might hold the Scour to refill my graveyard after this gets sacrificed. I'm also not 100% sure my opponent's playing Saga anymore. I really want to see Saga this game to, like, know for sure. Alright. It's kind of a risky line, but I think I'm into it. Oh no, this is dumb, because I just don't currently have Delirium. What am I doing? Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, sorry. I forgot that they exiled Delirium with the Lantern ETB. I have it now, but then they'll just pop it. But it does shrink the lantern. It does shrink the Goyf. It ended up kind of working out. I can't get Delirium off this Thought Scour though. So I'm not going to scour it because I might grow the Goyf. Yeah, that was a dumb play though. Undeniably dumb. But I think it ended up actually being like as good as that possibly could have worked out. So they still have Ragavan in their hand. Yeah, trading Heat for Lantern. Yeah, it's not bad there at all. We need to you know draw some gas though. But undeniably dumb play. But it ended up working out. Not a very good hit. I mean, better than the land, I guess. This is the land. Have to shuffle. We can still draw a Charm, but we're pretty dead. We have to draw exactly Charm, or we could draw Heat actually. Heat kills the Goyf. Another land. I mean, obviously I made a mistake there with the Heat line. I still like keeping to consider, honestly. We're ahead. I like trying to push my advantage. We're really ahead on mana. I still like keeping to consider over the ending. But the fact that we considered build a land, drew a land, meant that we would have Thought Scoured over those two lands, and taking the ending would have been better. But I think our line with that play was fine. But shout out to the doubters. Doubters win this one. Now, do I want to switch to Team or Wreck, or do I want to keep...